My name is Katy, and I'm a patient of Dr. Schwartzman's at Women's Health Associates. I've been a patient here for 6 years since I moved. I moved back from Kansas City to Kansas City from Chicago, where I was part of a great practice, and I was a little bit nervous actually about moving back to Kansas City and finding a really good doctor here. When I moved here, I asked several people. I did a lot of research. I probably talked to 10 or 15 different people about where they went, and I think probably 14 out of the 15 came here to several different doctors, although Dr. Schwartzman was the one that my closest friends came to. So I came and met her, and I was totally impressed with the office. It runs extremely smoothly. I've never had a problem getting in when I need to. Dr. Schwartzman is always prompt. I never have to wait very long in the office for my appointments, and I really liked her. She's very, the doctors here are excellent. They're very straightforward, which is my kind of style. When I met Dr. Schwartzman, I explained that I had been living in Chicago for many years. I was getting ready to start a family, and kind of got some advice from her on how to do that. And unfortunately, that didn't happen as quickly as my husband and I had hoped that it would, and we ended up, to make a very long story short, going through some very significant infertility, trying to have children. About 3 years we were trying. For a period of time with Dr. Schwartzman, she very smartly released us or referred us on to a reproductive endocrinologist, but she stayed on top of my treatment the entire time that I was going through it. We ended up having to go out of town for our infertility treatments, and Dr. Schwartzman and the office here especially, not just Dr. Schwartzman, the sonographers, the lab technicians, the other doctors that I had to work with, and nurses, everybody was totally on board in helping my husband and I do what we needed to monitor our situation here in town, even though we were supposed to be out of town getting treatment. And it actually made all the difference, because we did end up getting pregnant, and I unfortunately had a very complicated pregnancy, but again, Dr. Schwartzman was incredible. The doctors, the nurses, everybody here was just as helpful and warm as they could be during a very difficult and emotional time in our life. And that pregnancy did result in my daughter, who's 2, and I went through yet another infertility treatment and have a 5-month-old daughter as well. Both my pregnancies and one of my deliveries, like I said, were a little bit complicated. The doctors were incredible, and Dr. Schwartzman, I can't say enough fabulous things. She's one of the best doctors I've ever seen, and she knows her stuff, as do all the doctors. But it's been a really positive experience, and for us, the pregnancy and the getting pregnant were emotional and difficult and painful and scary at times, and Dr. Schwartzman and the staff here made it as comfortable as we could imagine it being. I would not go anywhere else. I wouldn't send any of my friends or family anywhere else. I think the care here is incredible. I also think that the office, everybody here communicates well. There's no lack of, A talking to Z. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows what's going on with you as a patient, which I think is really important to patient care and not something that you get in most offices. So I would say that's unique about this office. And as far as Dr. Schwartzman goes, I think she's one of what I understand to be many fabulous doctors in this office. I've seen several of them. She's obviously the one that I have the most experience with. If all of the doctors are as good as she is, which I understand that they are, then I don't think you could go wrong in this practice. I felt very comfortable going into my pregnancies that any of the doctors here could handle issues as they arose, and I don't have many friends that go to other OB practices that feel that way. They mostly want their specific doctor. They don't feel that everything would be okay regardless of what happens. So it's a great practice. It's a great place to be, and I wouldn't go anywhere else.